back when 3D was all of the rage in video game culture? I'm not so sure this is the 3D everyone got so hyped for. And that is precisely what makes this game so noteworthy and enticing today. See, Sonic 3D Blast has been getting ripped apart for years. People detest this game. They find it an abomination, sacrilege to the Sonic the Hedgehog name and legacy, especially in the 2D platforming era. But what I respect about this game is that it didn't jump headfirst into 3D. It was like a baby step. And the Saturn version is the evolution of what was a noble attempt on the Genesis. So I understand why people have problems with this game. It does feel awkward to control at first, and a bit clunky, and almost like you can't stop moving Sonic, and like he's almost going too slow. Like, why do the levels take so long? 5 minutes on the first act in the first zone? That's crazy. The game as a whole took me 2.5 hours to complete in one sitting. But I made it through those 2.5 hours because I enjoyed almost every minute of it. What lends this game its strong sense of identity and captivating gameplay are precisely its tributary aspects. Everything is intact and intentional in order to win over the Sonic fan. Like flickies. These things are adorable. How could you not want to save one of these poor helpless critters? And of course they stem from the original Sonic the Hedgehog titles. So, seeing them return and have a sense of importance in completing the game really makes this game feel fitting in the Sonic timeline. And even in thinking about the return of classic Sonic elements and characters, who else should join us but our favorite Tails and Knuckles in the best bonus stages you'll ever see from a Sonic game. Welcome to the remix of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 bonus stages, and these are outstanding. I love getting all the rings to get into these bonus stages. They're actually doable because Tails is not lurking behind you every step of the way, ready to sabotage your every jump. And of course, the whole half-pipe thing just works so well. It's actually really fun to even just watch this game, whether you're playing it or not. And that's definitely attributable to the Saturn hardware capabilities. The game is just a technical showpiece, and you can tell they went all out. Sometimes I even forget that it's isometric, because it just looks so good. The polygon quality is really top-notch. It's very refined and doesn't feel blotchy in the slightest. Even minute details like monkeys in trees or moles on the wall or facial expressions from characters really stand out in this game. And it's that quality that makes this feel far less retro than it actually is. And to top it off, the score for this game is phenomenal. Even from the moment that you boot this game up, it just sounds stellar and is sure to win you over. I was captivated the second I turned the game on and knew I made a good purchase. Even though there are a few songs that sound better on the Genesis version, as a whole, it's just really impressive what the composers were able to come up with. The assortment is great. Every track is distinguished even within zones. And between zones, the tracks sound so different. Like one time it might sound like you're in a really intense Japanese television show, and another, it's like you're in Christmas. Yeah, actually inside of Christmas, like Christmas Town. outstanding what they did. And this is not even a Christmas game. It blew me away how good this game is. I almost felt like I was playing Knights or something. And I think it's a good comparison because the game really has that kind of magic feel to it. Even if at times it does feel slower than your average Sonic, it's an experience that you just have to savor. And I think that's where a lot of modern gamers will not be able to appreciate it. But if they can't, that's their loss. Because quite frankly, the game does so much well. Is it perfect? No, not by any means. Of course there's minor touches that they could improve, but from the bottom of my heart, this is like a game that it just belongs in my collection. I don't know if you know this, but 3D Blast was one of the first games I ever played. On the Genesis, of course, but this version, this is sugar-coated sweetness right here. So if you are a Sonic fan, I highly recommend you go pick up a Saturn and a copy of this game. It does take some learning, and I think you really need the time to invest in a whole playthrough. But if you have that time and you have that devotion and dedication, this game is right up your alley. Just to throw in some closing words, I want to stress the importance of risk-taking. You know, whether in video games or any other field or hobby. SEGA took a risk. They took a risk putting their mascot, their head honcho, into new territory, into 3D. And it's a risk that has been biting them in the ass ever since. But at the end of the day, if they didn't take that risk, who knows what would have become of their mascot? Would he still be as cherished as he is today, especially his 2D iterations? Personally, I think not. And I think it's so much better of a decision than rehashing the same concept over and over again. But that's why I'm grateful for this game, and who knows, if you've never played it, you might be too. So that's it. 3D Blast from the past for the cash. Woo! T out. Gee, I never realized how slow things were in 3D.